Hey, y'all. I apologize for being a few minutes late. A few minutes late, but look, when I'm doing stories right before the live, when I have multiple shows to watch for you guys, sometimes it may they're last minute things, last minute stories like, oh wait, I have to add this story. Tuesday Takeover is a huge undertaking of several different stories and shows that we're watching. So please understand, I'm doing all the prep, the producing, the engineering, and also hosting. Also, speaking of engineering, please let me know if you can hear me loud and clear. Also, let me know where you're watching from. This is our Tuesday Takeover, where we cover a variety of reality TV news, and pop culture news. All right? Okay. So I do appreciate your patience. Look, for those that have been patient. Okay. So this is our Tuesday Takeover. Let's get these notifications out. Let's get these likes up. We have quite a few people already here in the building watching our weekly recap of some of your favorite shows, including 90 Day Fiance, Below Deck. Below Deck season finale happened last night. We have to talk about Love and Marriage DC. Some of you don't know that we've added Love and Marriage DC to our Tuesday Takeover instead of doing a separate live for it because it doesn't deserve it. It doesn't deserve it. No, when it starts deserving it, then we will do a separate live to recap it. I got to manage my time correctly. I got things to do. And I'm sorry, Love and Marriage DC, you're not doing it for me. But we will talk about it. I'm still talking about it. You know, they could have gotten the complete chop. Just saying. It's me. Hi. I'm the problem. It's me. They could have gotten the complete chop. We've done that before, but we haven't. We haven't. So let's get into this countdown and let's get into our Tuesday Takeover. Let's go.
Baby, baby, won't you listen to me? I got that flavor. I know you're dying to feed. I ain't no dancer, just got some hip in my feet. Now throw your hands up. Ooh, you bring the lighter. I got the fuse. You make a fire. I'll add the fuel. Follow my lead. Just watch your shoes. Gotta turn the heat up to get this cool.
Welcome back, guys, to the Kempire channel, your number one source for pop culture news and music, entertainment, reality TV, and so much more. Our Tuesday Takeover, if this is your first time here, is where we discuss a variety of reality TV news, and pop culture news. Because as you know, we don't just talk about the Housewives here on this channel. We talk about every single thing in pop culture. Speaking of pop culture, we did just post a story talking about Wendy Williams. Where's my Wendy Williams photo? There we go. Wendy Williams was recently spotted at Townhouse, a gay bar here in New York City, drinking. And as you know, Wendy recently spent a stint in rehab, allegedly for alcoholism. So her drinking is definitely a concern. So be sure to check out that video that we posted right before this live. We go extensively into some of the speculation and some of what played out during her night out this past Friday, which was St. Patrick's Day here in New York City. So, you know, everybody was out, except me. No, I was in the house. I was watching Queen's Court. Look, I was watching Queen's Court. Do I have a picture of the Queen's Court thing? Look, all the preparation that I do, some of the things I still forget. I still forget to bring in all the things that I wanted for this live recap, but it's okay. We will do it on the swing. But I was watching with you guys on TikTok, our little watch party that we had in regards to Queen's Court, the new Peacock reality dating show with Tamar Braxton, Evelyn Lozada, and Nivea. We will get into that in just a few. But as you know, with Tuesday Takeover, we always love to start with some good news. And right now, the good news I have for you guys, it's spring. Officially. Does it feel like spring? It's 54 degrees here in New York City. Whatever that is in Celsius. Can someone tell me what that is in Celsius? It's feeling somewhat like spring. I mean, we've had a pretty good winter here in New York City. I don't know about other parts of the country. You know, Buffalo had quite a few snowstorms. Around the country had a few snowstorms. But luckily for New York City, which has had some, legendary snowstorms, we lucked out this year. Thank God. I'm just saying. So we're going to near 60 today. So I'm happy about that. So happy spring. Happy spring. We're alive. We're healthy. We're taking care of our health, hopefully. All right. Before we get into the things, all the things, just a reminder, guys, don't forget a new episode of our podcast came out over the weekend or Friday with Layla Lynn. We talk about, the business of YouTubing. We talk about mental health. We talked a little bit about RHOP. We talked a little bit about Real Housewives Miami. Be sure to check out my conversation with Layla, and also be sure to check out the recaps that we did on the Real Housewives of Potomac on all of our pages. The previous podcast episode, I had Grace report on talking about all things Vanderpump Rules. So go check out the podcast Kempire Radio on your favorite podcast platform. Speaking of podcasts, I did want to mention to you guys that part 2 of my conversation with Behind the Velvet Rope is out today. Part 2 of my conversation with Behind the Velvet Rope is out today, so be sure to check that out. We had a very great conversation. If you missed part 1, be sure to check that out as well. Let me turn off my notifications because that is quite distracting. Okay, there we go. There we go. So be sure to check that out. And I think that's it that's all the good news I have for you today. Okay? All right. I'm sure there's more, but we'll get back to that next week. All right. Where do I want to begin? First off, I'm not going to go in depth to the Tamar and Kandi situation. We'll talk just about Queen's Court today. But if you missed our coverage, I did a long form video yesterday breaking down everything that played out between Tamar Braxton and Kandi. I agree with a lot of you. I'm tired. I'm tired of the same beef just being relived over and over again. So be sure to check out yesterday's video because I lay it all out. But I'll talk briefly about the whole situation with Tamar because to me it's connected to what plays out in Queen's Court. So we'll talk about that in just a second. But in regards to Kandi, I do want to talk about this conversation about headliners and this and that and blah, 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 blah. Okay. Oh my goodness. Do I have the picture here? I know I have the picture here because I saved it somewhere. I know I brought it in here. What did I do with it, y'all? Oh, here it is. Speaking of them. So, one of the big hot topics from this week's episode of SWV and the Escape reality show, The Queens of R&B, we were talking about headliners, what it means. Kandi did her speak on it, and she did talk about, what it means. And really, I think, based on how Kandi explained it, it's more about the money. And I said to you guys yesterday, and I still stand on this, yes, you can negotiate the money, let that be a separate thing, but you both can co-headline this tour. But we already know they're not co-headlining. But now it's become this large conversation and debate back and forth between SWV, the Escape fans on social media. And that was one of the disheartening parts of recapping the episode yesterday. I was like, now people are going to be battling between these two R&B groups, and they are all great. You can still love both of them. You don't have to pick a side. You can just agree to disagree on the headlining debate. But as you can see here, Escape and Monica are co-headlining this, okay? Does that mean they're getting paid the same amount? Possibly. Possibly. Some people might say Monica's a lot bigger than Escape. But I don't want to get into that debate. Because at the end of the day, they're at the same show. You're going to see both of them. Tamar's going to be there too. Oh, do you think there's going to be any interaction between Kandi and Tamar? Kandi, do me a favor. Just like, if you see her, go the other way. Look. Tamar, go the other way. People like that you can't engage with because they will spin a story and make it into a whole other thing. Do I think that Kandi got a little crunk with her? Kandi says she did get a little crunk with her, but she denies that Todd said anything. But we're not going to dig into that. But I do find it interesting that they're going to be on the same show April 1st. Spies, let me know if you see anything backstage. Let me know. All right? Oh, goodness. This is why we can't have anything. This is why we can't have anything. All right. But you can see Latasha's not there. It's me. Hi. I'm the problem. It's me. Latasha's not still not performing. Oh, because Latasha's busy promoting the gospel album. She's missing out. She's missing out. But I told you I've moved on. You know, I originally said you can't have Escape without any of the singers. So if someone's missing, it's not going to work. And I have seen performances of Escape as you know, as this formulation of Escape. And it works. Remember, they did this without Kandi at one point, but Kandi's tone is so specific. It's very important to the sound of Escape. But Latasha, I mean, I still would love to have Latasha there, but based on what we've seen, the toxicity, I moved on. I've moved on. Look, have y'all moved on? Can we move on from the whole headliner debate too? I'm tired. I'm tired, and I already knew, because sometimes the fans make it worse than anything. Well, Escape and Monica are co-headlining this show that's happening on April 1st. You're welcome, and it's hosted by DJ A1. Okay, good luck, everybody. I've moved on. All right. What do I want to get into next? Let me open my notes, y'all, so I know what I want to talk about. Okay, let me first talk about Below Deck, because so often we leave Below Deck to the last part of the show, and I don't want to leave it off, okay? So Below Deck, they had their season finale yesterday, and Captain Lee did come out and say that he's not retiring from yachting. I think he's just no longer part of Below Deck, and he's been a part of Below Deck since the beginning. So it's sad. I like the little montage that they gave of Captain Lee at the end of the episode. The episode overall wasn't a great episode. But I already told you last week's episode was sort of like, I'm so glad that this week was the finale, because it was starting to get a little towards the end. The biggest thing that came out from this was, first of all, I missed Alyssa. Justice for Alyssa. No matter if you hated her or love her, she was great reality TV. Okay? She was great reality TV. But Ross and Katie, we already know that's not going anywhere. Ross talking about Ross was interesting. I would bring Ross back, because Ross talking about how he grew up. Remember, he talked about being in that I don't want to say it here on TikTok, but not TikTok, but TikTok too. But he was in that throuple, not throuple, but it was more than a throuple. But he has an interesting background, okay? And he talked about the way he grew up. Sometimes his family went to the airport and they didn't even know where they were going. They would choose when they got to the airport. I was like, oh, all right. But after Alyssa was fired, it started to kind of go down. It started to go down, at least for me. But it wasn't terrible, and the ratings were still rating. This show is doing very well for Bravo, all right? So I hear word on the street we're not getting a reunion. I mean, I guess part of it makes sense, especially if you're saying goodbye to Captain Lee. But to have like your number one show not have a reunion, it's weird. But I also understand they probably want to avoid the whole Chef Rachel situation, because you know that all blew up online several months ago, and how she was calling out Bravo and how Bravo treats the Below Deck the cast and it's your number one show. So that might be part of the reason. I mean, you also have two fired people, Alyssa and Camille. Not Camille ghosting Ben. Ben, whoa. I think Ben's a nice guy and maybe too nice, and this is why he's had his heart broken. He should have hooked up with what's-her-face. Look, what's-her-face? She was only there for a hot second, but at least they are in Australia together. But again, Australia is huge. I don't know what parts of Australia they both live, but I could see that working more than Ben and Camille. Haley and her little moments with Fraser and just telling him how much he's meant to her during this, season, to me was sweet. Haley has been nothing but fun, funny, heartfelt, a hard worker. I really enjoyed seeing her there. Tony, hard worker. That's all. Look, Tony, that's all I can say. Tony acting as a fan for the charter guest who's been in all these things. For me, Tony, you should have won the fitness competition because at least you came out there and you did something. Why did Ross win? Ross has the better body? He didn't do anything. Look, why did Ross win that competition? I don't understand. You know what? I was looking at Chef Rachel. Remember she was on America's Next Top Model and she blew them up too. Chef Rachel, she's a beautiful woman. Look, I was like, Chef Rachel, because she's always acting so goofy. So sometimes when someone's acting so goofy, you can't see their beauty. But I was like, oh, she's a beautiful woman. And apparently a really good chef, but can't make hot wings. You know it's bad when the black man says these wings are dry. I was like, I had to rewind back. I was like, not the black man calling the wings dry. I mean, I'm not a wing connoisseur because I don't really like wings. Look, I don't. I don't love meat like that anyway. I really could be vegetarian, but the wings, how were they dry? The inside were dry because outside were very, very moist. Just saying. All right, but it was a sweet episode. I'm glad they ended it when they did because the season was winding down. These charter guests were not problematic. They were just, very buff. And then we had that little fitness competition. Ben loves to get in the Speedo. He's been getting... Here's the thing with yachting in the yachting world. I understand this happens in the yachting world where the crew has to kind of do these things. But it's 2023. And these things of requesting the crew to show their bodies, it's a little cringy for me. Anyone else? I'm just sort of like... You know what I mean? Diana says, I have never eaten a wing. Oh, hold on, I gotta pull this back up. You've never eaten a wing? I mean, I probably have once, and I was like, no, never again. I don't like wings. Just saying. Taurus Moose says, listen, you know when you know. Okay. Okay. Justin says, I'm Saucy Santana myself. I love a sauce. Okay. I mean, I could run with that. I'm not going to, though. But it is over for season 10 of Below Deck. Oh, I did not to forget Tyler. Tyler, he came in mid-season to replace Camille, right? He came in to replace Camille. Stellar. He was unproblematic, but part of his storyline was to come out of the closet to his mom, and he makes the call, but his mom is at his grandmother's house, and he's like, he's like, I'll talk to you later. But his mom is like, well, whatever you have to tell me, I love you anyway. You think his mom knows already? How you doing? They say mothers always know. Did my mom know? I don't know. Look, I don't know. Okay. That's interesting. Look, that's interesting. But I do love first of all, Captain Lee, he could have been in this fitness competition, but he didn't want to stunt on them, just saying. But Captain Lee, we bid adieu. Thank you for your services. Oh, I didn't mean it like that. I didn't mean it like that. We love Captain Lee. We really do love Captain Lee. I mean, I hope to see Captain Lee come back. I did tell you guys last week, seeing all the scenes of Captain, every time they went to go see Captain Lee, normally he would be in where the captain usually sits. But every time we would see Captain Lee in his room, which had me a little worried that maybe he wasn't ready to come back and maybe they decided to bring him back just so that they could say goodbye. But he says on social media, Captain Lee says he's not retiring. Okay. Whoa, 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 Captain Lee. Look, whoa, whoa, whoa. We don't want you to retire, right? We don't, do we? Lisa on my TikTok says, Kempire, did you see Captain Lee say he didn't retire? Yeah, he's not retiring from yachting. However, I think he's done with the show. I don't know if that was by choice. They're saying that Captain Carey, from Below Deck Adventure, is going to come replace him. Captain Carey was okay, but I didn't love him, to be honest with you. There really aren't a lot of great captains. What we got to see of Captain Sandy, I was like, I get why she's been around so long. I'm not going to say that people love her, because some people love her, some people hate her. But sometimes people love to hate, and that makes you great for reality TV. All right. Well, thank you, Eddie. Thank you. Eddie says, yay, I just woke up. Not you just waking up. It is one. Well, I guess it depends on where you're living. Finally made a live sidebar. Kempire's looking so handsome today. Thank you. I tried. Look, I tried. I washed my face. I moisturized. Thank you, Eddie. All right, guys, we're going to move on because we have so many shows to talk about during our Tuesday takeover. So I want to move on to Love and Marriage DC. So Love and Marriage DC had their mid-season finale. Y'all need to stop with this. Carlos, can y'all stop with the mid-season finale? Just give us the season and then be done with it. Because honestly, because we're already getting Love and Marriage Huntsville, in a couple of weeks? Less than a couple of weeks? And I'm just like, I want to be able to miss Love and Marriage Huntsville. And I think that's part of the reason why people are over Love and Marriage Huntsville. I want to be able to miss them. You don't give us an opportunity to miss them. And you're not going to sit in here and tell me that a lot is going on. The only update that I need is in regards to Kimmy. That's the only update that I need. But we know you guys are going to be talking about Sheree. Y'all going to be talking about... No promises on whether or not I'm going to recap it. Just no promises. Because if it's not giving, I'm not recapping it. I'm done. Look, I told you I didn't leave my big corporate job to come here and do things I don't want to do. Just saying. Pushing Forward says, I agree. Carlos, just play all the episodes. But here's the thing. We have to remember the whole situation with Monique happened. So they don't have all the episodes. Shout out to Ashley. So Ashley from the main cast of Love and Marriage DC, it looks like she says she has like 10 more episodes. She posted this on her Instagram story. It seems like they have 10 more episodes and she's like, I'm done. She's like, peace. The star of Love and Marriage DC? Yep, she's the star of Love and Marriage DC. So apparently she's done. I don't know. Some of these people say this stuff and then they're back. But let's talk about this episode. Okay, Joy. You are not bringing me joy. You're not bringing me joy. So the big story since last week when we first talked about this is that Ashley told her best friend, Alicia, that Joy is married already. And when she was confronted about it, Ashley confronted her because she told Ashley that they were married. She was just sort of like, there's something so inauthentic about Joy. I don't know what it is. Oh, I do know what it is. She talked all this game to other people, and then she talks about them in the confessionals. But when confronted, she's a mute until the party next week. So the party next week for the mid-season finale is going to be a mess because it's going to be some sort of fight at a Christmas party in Ashley's house. There's not a lot going on with Arena and Jamie right now. I mean, right now, the top of the season, there was a lot going on, especially with their son. But right now, it's mostly about Ashley, her relationship with Winter. Winter, okay, look, I'm gonna say something nice, Winter. Buckle up. It might be the last time. So Winter, I told you about Winter's other song. Remember that? I told you about Winter's other song. And I told you, oh, when I listened to it, I was like, it's not bad. Shout out to Black who produced it. This other song, Gutter Barbies, wasn't bad. It wasn't bad. Okay, I shouldn't say it wasn't bad. It was good. I can say it's good. I didn't get to listen to it in full. But it was good. Here's the thing. You know her new relationship? At first, I thought it was a real relationship. And according to her, it is a real relationship. But now I'm starting to get, is this a relationship to secure your position on this show called Love and Marriage? Is this a relationship because now all of a sudden you're going to ask this guy you've been dating for a month? Oh, because he's a hip hop artist? Okay. Oh, why don't you do a verse on it? It was weird. It was a little weird to me. Anyone else? And look, Ashley, I know a lot of people do not like you. They want to call you a mean girl, but I appreciate Ashley in the moment, especially for reality TV purposes. I appreciate Ashley in the moment asking all the questions that Winter never asked that other man. Remember the other one that she married and she didn't see where he lived? She was asking this new man all the questions. But it seems as if, well, according to Ashley, I saw on social media, she says that until she decides to go to the Romancipation, that the other ladies were not going to go. And I told you, if some of the main cast were not going to this Romancipation, I don't believe they would have filmed it. And even if they did film it, I don't think it would have made it to air if none of the main cast did not go. But they went, they listened, they had shady things. Ashley had some shady things to say about Winter. But I like the song Winter. I could have did without your new boyfriend coming out on the verse. I could have did without that. It wasn't a bad verse, but I just could have did without. It felt a little thirsty of him. Because I'm like, no, this is your moment. Maybe that's what it is. I was like, he should have been like, no, this is your moment. I don't know. Anyone else? Sometimes I feel like I'm alone out here. Ooh. Oh, Nicole, you called in the other day. Ooh, Nicole says, I'm an ex-friend of Winter. You hit it spot on. I'm just saying. But here's the thing. I think Winter's very obvious in her behavior. Even her behavior on social media. Girl is searching what is it? LAMDC hashtag and replying and doing all the things. Girl is thirsty to be on the show. And I told you, without her making real relationships with people on the show, her time on the show is going to be limited. But Jillian says he wasn't needed on the song. Yeah, because actually I did like the song. I just felt for me, it was a little strange to be like, oh, we just started dating. Why don't you come on the song with me? I don't know. I mean, people, look, she married a man she never saw where he lived. So am I shocked? No. No. But Joy, let's get to Joy. So Joy, as you know, a lot of you remember Joy from Ready to Love. I'm glad I never watched it because I can kind of look at Joy with fresh eyes. And at first I liked Joy. If you go back and look at my other recaps of Love and Marriage, DC. So I was like, okay, let me, some of you were in the comments said, oh, the way I think her behavior at the Ready to Love reunion turned a lot of you off. But I was like, I'm not going to watch it. Let me take her as she is. And I was like, all right, okay. Oh, did you guys see the scene with Winter and Joy? So Winter was like, oh, I'm going to have Joy come and help me with my performance and things like that because she's a performer. Have we seen Joy perform yet? I mean, she does it for a living, but I haven't seen it. I was hoping at some point we would see Joy perform. So Joy comes there and I was like, here Winter go. Winter's trying to secure her friendships with someone on the cast. A possible future full cast member. But at this point, I don't see. Joy, you're hiding your wedding? Why would you get? Someone make it make sense to me, and I'm guessing during the reunion they will make it make sense. Why is it a big deal that people know that you're married? What, right? Why is it a big deal? I'm still confused. I'm still confused why that is a big secret that you married the man that you got engaged to. But you're on this show lying about it. Falana says, hold on. Winter is very transparent, unlike her castmates. Yeah, maybe too transparent. Oh my God. All right. Let me see what you guys say in the chat. Hold on, y'all. Okay. Robin says I voted Joy and Clifton off the island. I just want to understand her more. Like, I'm willing to keep an open mind about Joy, but I'm just what I've seen in these last few episodes of Love and Marriage DC, I'm just not impressed. I'm seeing a very, like, I'll say one thing to your face, but I'll say another thing in a confessional or to other people. So, wait, hold on. Let me find that comment. Hold on. Shireen says Joy wanted a show to pay for it. I mean, that makes more sense to me than what Joy is not saying. CM says Ashley is an entire me. I mean, people are not loving Ashley, and I think it's getting to Ashley, the amount of hate that she's getting on social media. Okay. It's all right, Ashley. Woo, Ashley, you'll be okay. You're you're from Baltimore. Toughen up. I'm kidding. You have a right. You have a right to feel emotional, because I'm sure. Look, I have my moments too on social media. Art World says Joy isn't fun and always mad. Ashley says she texts Joy, apologized. She even went up to Joy to have a conversation, and Joy's like, I need time. But she has all this mouth in her confessionals, and she won't give that same energy to Ashley or anyone else's face. Well, fast forward to next week's episode where we see a brawl between Ashley and Joy in her home. Stay tuned. That's all I have. Look, that's all I have for Love and Marriage DC. This is why we're not doing a separate live, because look, just saying. And you never know. If it gets better, we might get back to a separate live. You guys will let me know in the comments section. Shout out to everyone that's just joining us. This is our weekly Tuesday takeover, where we talk about some of your favorite reality TV news, and pop culture news. Let's get into some Real Housewives of Miami news. I almost forgot about a story that is directly affecting me. Oh my God. I almost forgot about this story. That's how much of a non-motherfucking factor Peter Rosello from the Real Housewives of Miami is. That's how much of a non-motherfucking factor he is. Okay. So you know Peter. Peter from Real Housewives of Miami, Alexia's son. And a lot of you have been in the comment section in regards to this story, because I originally posted this story telling you that Peter shared his thoughts on Yara Shahidi playing Tinkerbell in the Peter Pan remake. And he commented and said, at least Wendy and Peter are still white. So Peter must have seen that a lot of you have been engaging on my Instagram to that story and decided to post a comment. Okay, let's start. Let's go there. Okay, so Peter, let me pull up the picture again. So Peter posted this comment first. He says in the comment section in regards to the story that I did, he says, that's just a view on Disney changing their narratives. Just because you can't see the point of view shows how closed-minded you are. Not me being closed-minded. It's not Tinkerbell specifically. You guys will say anything for views, laughing out loud. I love it when you guys say that I will do anything for views. y'all do understand this is a business. So part of what I do is it's about views. You know, very much like how TV has to get ratings for their advertisers. Well, that's part of what happens here on YouTube too. But here's the thing. I'm not clickbaiting you guys. I'm not giving you false information. I'm letting you know this is alleged. This is what a rumor is being said. I'm not trying to bamboozle you guys. But let me tell you something about the business of YouTube. It is about views, not just views though. It's about engagement. It's about impressions. But I love it when he's not the only one to say things like, oh, you're just doing this for views. Well, okay. So he wasn't done. Look, Peter wasn't done. Okay. So he said this, and then he decided to go on my Juan Dixon story. And he said, you should play Tinkerbell. He has since deleted these tweets because apparently he didn't think that people would see it. So I did a video. And I was going to do a long form video. I was like, Peter, if Peter says anything else, then I'll do a long form video. Because I told Peter in my follow-up to this, covering the things that he was saying, I said, Peter, the last thing that you want to do is come for a gay man with shade, because you'll never win. You'll never win. And I'm not even the shadiest of them all, but you'll never win because there's so much of your truth that I can come out with. So much of your truth. Okay? There's so much of your truth. Okay, where do we begin? Where do we begin? The attacking of homeless people? The alleged beating up of your girlfriend? Or the fact that your daddy... Oh, we're not just talking about your daddy going to jail. We're talking about your daddy cannot be in how many feet of a school? And that's not even allegedly. Google schmoogle it. And let's not talk about your late... How you doing? Y'all don't realize how much I do not engage or drop tea on so many different people. But I told Peter, I was like, Peter, don't come for me. I'm reporting what you posted. And the fact that you're saying that this is Disney's narrative about Tinkerbell, Tinkerbell is not real, Peter. But we already know there are so many people very much like Peter that are so shook by people like Halle Bailey playing a fictional character. How dare Disney change the whitewashing of cartoons that they've done? Peter, sit down. I almost forgot about this story. You're lucky, Peter, they reminded me. Yeah, for those that are just joining, I was talking about Alexia, and I've been nothing but nice to Alexia. I really have laid off Alexia as much as I could. So Peter posted this in my comment section. These comments were in my comment section. So I said, all right, Peter, I'm going to let you live for now. But say one more thing. Say one more thing. Oh, and I didn't even address the homophobia in this situation. You should be Tinkerbell, a.k.a. a fairy. Let me tell you something, Peter. I grew up in the 90s, a little feminine. I've been called worse by better. Have a seat. All right, moving on. Sassy. All right, we're gonna move on. Speaking of sassy, y'all know I'm in the middle of watching old seasons of Vanderpump Rules, right? And don't forget, every Thursday now, we have our recap of Vanderpump Rules. We do it like around 5:30 p.m. Eastern. If you all don't show up, they're going to get the same treatment as Love and Marriage DC. Keep it up. Show up for our recaps on Thursday evenings. But you know I'm doing a watch of the old seasons. All right? Right now, I'm in the middle of season 3. Did Jax and John have a thing? You know, his old friend from Miami? How you doing? I did not expect that. And do we really believe that Jax is faithful to his current wife? I mean, I hope he is. But remember, Jax was exhibiting this problematic behavior in his mid-30s when the season started, when the show started. So if Jax was like 20, 22 when he was on Vanderpump Rules, I probably would have been like, okay, yeah, he could have grown up and matured. But he was 33, I think 33 or 35 when he was on this show. But I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if Jax hooked up with John just to, you know, live the life that he was living in Miami. But I'm in the middle of it. Don't spoil it for me. Falana, shut up. I was thinking this, Falana. I was thinking this, but I left it alone. Falana says, Jax said a hole is a hole. How you doing? I mean, there are plenty of heterosexual men out here that will, it is a thing. Deborah says, I think so, Kempire. Jax was a kept man. I need to go ask Adam some stuff. I was like, maybe that's why he doesn't. All right, we'll move on. Oh, sidebar. There was a question. Someone asked Jax a question on social media about who's like the toughest guy on Vanderpump Rules. I'm paraphrasing. I don't remember the exact verbiage. And he said Ariana. And I didn't think anything of it until someone else that's a Vanderpump Rules fan retweeted it and says him saying this is actually problematic based off his transphobic behavior. I was like, wait. I'm not shocked that Jax was transphobic. However, I was like, now it makes me look at that whole comment a little differently. All right. So back to Vanderpump Rules. So the mid-season trailer for season 10 of Vanderpump Rules dropped this week. And I know you all have been wondering, what did I think of it? Said no one never. So I got a couple of clips from this. I said this on social media, and maybe I was just not moved by what I saw. But I was thinking to myself, this trailer is based off the juiciness of what we know is to come. I said, this trailer was not hitting for me. And it could be just the way that this was edited. We see a couple of things in this trailer. Where are my pictures? So we see a couple of things in this trailer that made me kind of go, what is happening here? First off, where is this? Hold on, y'all. Remember when I told you guys during our first recap of Vanderpump Rules, and I said, I'm not a therapist, so I'm not diagnosing her, but I get sociopath vibes from Raquel because just inappropriate facial expressions during the wrong moments, and it might not even be sociopath. Some of you said it could be, maybe she's autistic or has, I don't know. But there is this scene in the trailer that everyone's going to, and they're like, what is going on? Look at her face. Everyone's upset and serious, but look at Rachel's face. Smiling. This is not a moment to smile. Sidebar, you know the guy that everyone swears that Ariana was hooking up with in the trailer? He's come out on TikTok. He's gay. Look, he's gay. How you doing? There's nothing there. There's nothing there with Ariana and this guy. But this trailer is alluding to issues in Ariana and Tom Sandoval's relationship. But I'm telling you, watching these old seasons, the signs have always been there in regards to Tom Sandoval. I don't know if he's ever been a loyal partner. It makes me also wonder how many times he may have cheated beyond Rachel. You know what I mean? So, the trailer. First of all, what happened to his face? Did Ariana punch him? Did Ariana punch him? I know what some of you are thinking. He would deserve it. Maybe. Look, maybe. Ariana losing it during the trailer. Okay. And then she says this, and I know a lot of you felt like this was a bomb drop. I cringed. Anyone else? So Ariana, when Tom Sandoval says to her in the Vanderpump Rules trailer, says, do you want anything? And then she says, for you to die. I said, And I know sometimes we think these things when we're very upset at someone that may have done us dirty. And I know that's why a lot of you are like, oh, yes, Ariana. In my head, I'm just like, I don't know. I was uncomfortable with it, okay? I'm just going to say that. I was uncomfortable with what she said. But look, I have every right to be uncomfortable. We all have difference of opinions and reactions to certain things, okay? So when she said that, I was just sort of like, anyone else? Look, it didn't hit for me the way that it hit for a lot of people on social media. They were like, oh, yes, Ariana, get him. And I was just like, he cheated on you with your best friend. I understand. But at the same time, I don't know. See, CM agrees. She's like, he cheated in their house with a girl she befriended. Okay, I know some people think these things, but they don't say them out loud. There's also a moment where Tom Sandoval is kissing someone in the bed, and no one really knows exactly if it's Rachel or Ariana. Because as you know, according to Kristen, who is so thirsty, Kristen, but Kristen's been thirsty since season 1. So I'm not surprised that she's on this whole media tour that she alleges Ariana told her to do. Okay. Even if a friend tells me to go do a media tour to respond for her, I'm like, no, girl, you respond for yourself when you're ready. Because Kristen, you're a non-factor. I don't even need Kristen to come back. But in season 3, Kristen is doing the most to break these two up. So she's, of course, I think even how many years later is reveling in this information. Remember, she hated Ariana. She hated the sight of Ariana. I know things may have changed in the years following. I don't know. I'm not up to those seasons yet. But based on what I'm seeing, I'm like, Kristen, go sit down. But Kristen said in a podcast interview that there is a kiss between Tom Sandoval and Rachel. But she seems so obsessed with, in season 3, Kristen seems so obsessed with their relationship and obsessed with Tom. Mind you, she's in a relationship with Johnny Come Lately, James Kennedy. But James Kennedy's like 22 during this season. Miss Brooklyn Diamond says Kristen needs the check. I could do without her. And I haven't even finished watching all the seasons. And I'm already like, I'm over Kristen. You're in a whole new relationship, but you're obsessed with Miami Girl and you're obsessed with their relationship. Do you guys believe Miami Girl and Tom cheated? I do. Look, I do. I don't even think I needed to see what's happening now to believe that. Just based on what I've seen in season 1, 2, and 3, I'm like, yeah, I think he did. I think he did. And he is a walking narcissist, Tom Sandoval, based on what I'm seeing. You know how some guys are metrosexual? No, this is beyond metrosexual with Tom Sandoval. It's beyond that. He's almost stunted in his emotional growth. I'm so shocked that Ariana would even be with him for this long. Anyone else? Sidebar. You know, because you guys send me cliff notes. I did see the scene where Ariana and LVP are talking about this mortgage and how he's going to take a portion out of, liquidate something from the mortgage. I forgot the terms. But Ariana is like, yeah, well, he's going to take it from his part, but not my part. So it's not going to affect me. And I'm thinking to myself, girl. So then I'm looking at Ariana. I was like, Ariana, although you seem like you're put together, that doesn't sound smart. Because when the bank comes for that house, they're not just taking Tom Sandoval's house. They're taking your house too. So I thought that was interesting. I'm still in my watch. As you know, we got a little sidetracked this week talking about Queen's Court. But I was just like, oh, she was not that smart, less than smart. But this still was a very cringy moment for me. I know a lot of you are getting your life with this trailer, but the trailer for Vanderpump Rules season 10 mid-season trailer did not hit for me. It didn't hit for me. I'm gonna still watch because I know what's to come, and I'm looking at all the signs and symptoms of this relationship falling apart. But this didn't hit for me. This was cringy for me. Do you want anything? For you to die. Okay, but to each their own. To each their own. As you know, everyone has a right to their opinion here on the platform. I'm just looking at you sideways. I'm joking. I kid. All right. Let me say thank you. We had a couple of super chats, guys. If you haven't already, be sure to like the video. It's an easy and free way of supporting not just my channel, but your channel and other channels as well. We'll start to show up on your algorithm. Rashima, thank you so much for the super chat. Rashima says, my favorite episode is season 2 finale. Oh, it was good. You're right, Rashima. It was good. That was good. Thank you, Rashima, for the super chat. Thank you for another super chat, Rashima. Rashima says, it's a lie pimple that he popped. Oh, it's a lie. It's a pimple that he popped on his face. Tom Sandoval's face. Let's take a look. Let's go back and take a look. Hold on. Because I'm like, what is that on his face? You see that in the upper right part of his eye? I mean, it would make a better story. I mean, but not a pimple. Thank you for the super chat, guys. You can also support the channel by liking the video, but also sharing the channel with some of your friends and family as well. All right, so feel free to share. Shout out to everyone watching on TikTok, Twitch, Twitter, and those of you watching on Facebook. We see you. Thank you so much. Be sure to like us on those platforms as well. All right. Before we get into some more reality TV recaps, I did want to mention that we got our first confirmation that Phaedra Parks is a part of the cast of Married to Medicine. So she posted this on her Instagram. This was a recent Dr. Heavenly event. And I mean, they all look great. I find it so interesting. I don't know. I'm going to keep an open mind to seeing Phaedra be a part of this cast. But as you know, this was Bravo's desperate attempt to bring Phaedra back. Apparently, they allegedly could not afford her at the Real Housewives of Atlanta. And apparently, she's dating a doctor. So that is going to be her connection to the crew. Where is Quad? I haven't heard any confirmation that Quad is coming back. Quad and Dr. Heavenly do have a friendship. And apparently, not Dr. Heavenly, Quad and Phaedra have a friendship. But, and Dr. G is coming back as well. I could do without that. So we'll see. We shall see. Clara says that I have a bad feeling about Phaedra coming to Married to Medicine. I have a bad feeling too, but I'm going to try and keep an open mind just to see how it plays out. We shall see. We shall see. It might work out great. I'm open to that as well. I'm open to that as well, but I don't know. Hold on. Let me pull up because I do want to get into. Did I cover? I talked about the Vanderpump Rules trailer. We talked about Love and Marriage DC, and we talked about Below Deck. I do want to talk about 90 Day Fiance, but before we get to 90 Day Fiance, I want to talk about Queen's Court. So let me just pull up my Queen's Court photo. Hold on, y'all. Just when I thought I did everything. I told you Tuesday Takeover is a great undertaking to prep for because every week it's a different situation. So let me just pull up the photo that I wanted. Oh, it was already here. I know I was doing what I wanted to do. I knew it was here. Oh, Queen's Court. All right. So I know a lot of you are wondering, what the hell is Queen's Court? It's a dating reality show on Peacock. They're not paying me, but at this point, run me a check. But we watched it together on TikTok. We watched the entire season of Queen's Court together on TikTok. Not at once. Over the last few days, we watched it together. We watched like 2 episodes a night. Tired. Never doing that again. But it was actually good. You know, originally I tweeted that I was not going to watch the show because all this information came out that Tamar had picked JR. And then we heard that Evelyn was engaged. And I know they had just put out the episode and that information came out at the end of the episode. But I felt like we could have kept this under wraps a lot better. Okay? And I just felt like, why do we already know how this ends? Why do we already know? I just kind of feel like they could have put out maybe the last episode, maybe a week later. You know what I mean? Like the last couple of episodes, like a week later, or pulled it out. You know what I mean? I just feel like it was just too quick, you know, to know what. First of all, we already knew that Tamar was running around town with JR, okay? Or as our TikTok community like to call him, the Colonel. You know, we just did a story talking about JR's baby mama drama, because on Tamar's recent post, she was talking about, yes, he's got how many baby mamas and there's no drama. We all get along. Well, one of the baby mamas who's an attorney, came out and said she's lying, basically, and says that ever since Tamar has gotten into their lives, they said that she's caused nothing but chaos and unnecessary drama.
Lies! The lies!
But they're not. They're not. I mean, look, I went into this, and for those that were watching Queen's Court with me, I said, you know, I'm going to keep an open mind. And I was actually liking Tamar in the beginning of Queen's Court until Tamar finally showed up towards like the last few episodes. And I know a lot of people did not like Evelyn because of her problematic history on reality TV, but she comes across very likable. And the only real queen on this Queen's Court was Nivea. So damn likable, so damn funny. If you do not want spoilers, you better sign out now, because I'm going to spoil it for you, even though it's been spoiled for all of us already. So Nivea at the end of this decides not to pick anyone. And I was so happy she didn't, because the men she ended up with, those last two, Mac, who seemed, of the two, he was the better choice. But between Mac and Tyrone, I said she better not choose neither one of them. And I was so glad to find out that she didn't choose any of them, because I was like, the selection of guys that Nivea had, well, the selection of guys in general were not that great. We're not that great. And I'm not just talking about the baby mama drama stuff, because quite a few of them had babies, had a lot of babies. Tyrone had 6 babies by 4 baby mamas, I think. Yeah, but he definitely had 6 babies, and he alleges that he's raising them. So who's taking care of your babies while you're here for how many weeks? Like 10 weeks. Who's taking care of those babies? Mr. Man with 6 babies. But JR is no different. JR is the man that Tamar ended up with. But I feel like they should have kept one other person on that was interested in Tamar, so that we could kind of feel like maybe possibly JR was not going to get it, even though we knew he was. And she was playing this whole hard to get. When we get to, okay, let me not fast forward too much. First of all, one of my favorite episodes was like episode 5, the Cookout Cousins. For me, it was one of my favorite episodes, but it also showed another side of Tamar. And I initially agree with Tamar, like, you don't need your family's opinion of your boo. I can understand that. But then I thought to myself, when the guys, what was it? The guy's family, and okay, I'm all over the place. It's okay. What was it? Puff brought. Puff said, "This is my god sister. I've known her for 12 to 13 years." I know not everyone is christened immediately. Maybe he's born again and he got christened at his tender age of 30. He said, "This is my god sister. I've known her for 12 to 13 years. I was a little confused. Just a little confused. But that was also a moment where we saw a side of Tamar that I was just like, she didn't want to engage with first of all, the men that she was still interested in, their families were there. And she's like, "Oh, I don't want to meet the families. I feel like it's too soon." Girl, you on a reality show, and then fast forward to the end, you're talking about too soon, and you're saying yes to an engagement to a man you've never kissed before, that we know of. And you weren't even able to say that you loved them until the end. I just found that to be interesting. It felt very performative towards the end. In the beginning, I was like, okay, I wanted Tamar to find the love of her life. And I said, maybe I will like to see their journey to finding each other. By the end of Queen's Court, I'm like, how in the hell? I don't see how they fell in love. I don't understand how Tamar and JR fell in love. JR gives me the vibe of he knows how to talk a good game. Yes, he's an attorney. And she points that out. And I was like, okay, she's wisening up. But then she falls for it. He's like, I'm going to show you Jeremy. You've been meeting JR this entire time. I'm going to show you Jeremy. Jeremy and JR sound the same to me and look the same to me. Anyone else? Look. But it was entertaining. It was an entertaining reality dating show. And I don't normally love the dating reality shows, but this was entertaining. And I think partially because of Tamar, Nivea, and Evelyn's personalities. And I have to, with all the criticism, I still need to give them their compliments, because these women, when they had the dinners and things like that and the fashion moments that they came out with, whoever was doing the styling and the makeup and all of that stuff, they did a great job. All of them looked great. Holly Robinson Pete, someone told me Holly Robinson Pete is nearing 60 years old. Holly Robinson Pete looks amazing. Amazing. Okay? So Holly and her husband Rodney hosted this. This is a Will Packer production, for those that are wondering. And I thought they were great hosts, especially because they've been together for years. They've been together for years. I like the way that it was handled. I thought it was a good show. Do I think the quality of men were great? No. I'm actually hoping that Evelyn and Levon work out. I'm hoping. I know Evelyn, some of you in the comment section, she stay getting an engagement ring because they're now engaged, Evelyn and Levon. But Evelyn, you keeping around Puff? I'm sorry, I can't take you seriously at your big age using a nickname by the name of Puff. The only Puff that we recognize is Puff Daddy, and even he doesn't use that anymore. He doesn't even use that anymore. It's me. Hi, I'm the problem. It's me. So I'm happy for Levon and Evelyn. And we see a different side of Evelyn. I know Evelyn went through this metamorphosis where she was like, oh, I'm changing. She had her own reality show. And I like to see that. And then she went back on Basketball Wives. And then we were like, oh, God, here we go.
Lies, the lie.
Look, here we go. So I'm wondering, is it authentic? But apparently things are working out between her and Levon. They're engaged. They didn't get engaged on the show. It was 6 months later they ended up getting engaged, which I can respect, because their big issue was like, is the distance going to work? He lives in Atlanta. She lives in LA. She's not willing to leave LA, not because, of a co-parenting issue. She's like, no, my son is settled there and da-da-da. But you go on a reality show based in Atlanta, more than likely going to meet guys that are from Atlanta. Okay, Evelyn. Look, okay. But I'm trying to summarize, guys, 10 episodes for you guys. So there are plenty of little parts that were funny, little parts that were emotional, talking about Nivea's journey and the people that she's dated. As you know, Nivea was married to the Dream, has kids with the Dream. She also has a kid with Lil Wayne. So she's been through her thing. She talks about her drug-addicted parents and her relationship with them. So there's a lot of up and down emotional sisterhood between the three queens was really nice. But as I said to you before, I was trying to keep an open mind with Tamar, because I really did enjoy Tamar on Celebrity Big Brother. And then here comes Tamar showing her true colors towards the end. Let's talk about Tarek. I can't believe I remember these names, but Tarek was a guy that was actually interested from the jump in Nivea. And when they do eliminations, they decide together who they're going to eliminate. So I know a lot of people were like, why is Tamar allowed to eliminate a guy for Nivea? Because they all decide. So Nivea was okay with them eliminating Tarek. But the reason why Tamar eliminated Tarek was because Tarek, when they were having just a side conversation during the elimination night dinner, and he was like, oh, you remember the conversation we were having? And you were saying, like money is important to you. I'm paraphrasing. And she was like, oh, I never said that. And then the producers replay what she said. And she didn't say exactly like that, but basically she was like, money is an important factor. And she was so upset by that. And she brought it back to the other women. And he was eliminated because of that. Not because he did anything wrong to Nivea or there was no spark between Nivea and Tarek. It's because of a miscommunication. And I hate that he brought it up again as he was leaving, but I think he really didn't I think his intention wasn't to be insulting to her. I think what he should have said when he was leaving, I'm sorry, Tamar, if I offended you. I believe it was a miscommunication. But I was like, here go Tamar exaggerating a story. We have countless, come on, go back and look through all of the times that Tamar has exaggerated situations. And this was a perfect example of one. And this was a recent example. So poor justice for Tarek. Justice for Tarek. He shouldn't have went. Gatsby. Gatsby should have went probably like episode 3. Because Tamar never looked at Gatsby as someone that she was really interested in. She never looked at as someone that she was really interested in. I always saw like, that's the homeboy. Why are you keeping him around? For entertainment purposes? And then he calls her out in front of the group, which wasn't right. And Gatsby wasn't a great guy, but he should have left a long time ago. But she wanted to have a reality TV moment, and she was like, I think we should kick him out right now and not wait for elimination. And it was like, what is happening here? And this was like the last guy that was part of her group of guys that were interested. It was Gatsby and JR. But she wasn't interested in Gatsby. Why is he still here? Exactly. Jones says that Gatsby was used for entertainment. Clearly. And then made to look like a sucker when he left. Oh, wait, I forgot one other part about Tarek. Justice for Tarek. Nivea's man that got kicked out because of Tamar. So she not only was there a miscommunication between Tarek and Tamar, but when she got upset with him, she was like, she called him the B word. And I was just like, girl. So all of this is happening. And then, of course, yesterday we get that whole story. Like, I'm in the middle of watching this. And then yesterday we get that story with the Kandi situation. And I was like, oh, my God. I'm like, really? Is this what we're doing? I feel like Tarek and Nivea probably would have been better fit together. Hopefully they've stayed in communication afterwards. I didn't like Tyrone, and I didn't like Mac for her. Mac maybe more than Tyrone, but definitely not Tyrone. But I'm glad at the end of the day, Nivea chose herself. And I'm glad. I don't know why it ended up between Levon and Puff. Levon, why did you think Puff was your biggest competition? I never thought he was any competition. And then when we're at the end, we're on like the last 2 episodes, and Tamar only has one guy, and that's JR. And it's like, okay, so is this a competition, or are we going to be like, oh, you're not going to just choose him or not? I'm like, okay. And Jeremy and JR are the same person. I didn't see a difference. And the amount of gifts he kept on giving Tamar, and I know some people's, love language is gifts, but every time he would meet with Tamar, he's like, oh, I want to give you this. Oh, I want to give you this. Oh, I want to give you this. I want to talk to all the girlfriends. Not really. Girlfriends don't reach out to me. But I want to know from the girlfriends. Y'all can tweet me. I'm willing that they're watching this and like, he did the same ish with me. He did the same thing with me. He has an MO. And honestly, Tamar, I believe who you thought he was from the beginning is exactly who he is. All right. I've already spoken. I had a lot to say. It's 10 episodes, guys. I can't get into every nitty gritty detail of Queen's Court. But if you want to watch Queen's Court, they're not paying me, but you can watch Queen's Court on Peacock right now, streaming right now. As you know, they were just on Watch What Happens Live promoting it. So be sure to check that out if you haven't already. All right. Let me get into some other news. Oh yeah, so Queen's Court, y'all. All right, so let me get into some other news that I talked about in other videos that I wanted to briefly talk about here. So you remember Law Roach? He recently came out and retired. He did an interview within the cut talking about why he decided to retire. And it's not because of the video that had been going around where they, between Law and Zendaya, as I like to call her, but Zendaya, arrived to the Louis Vuitton show late. He explains in great detail why, why it looks like they're running in and there was no seat there for him. And when you see Zendaya pointing to the seat behind her, according to Law, she's pointing to the seat behind her because that is where her assistant Daryl is supposed to sit. And he's like, I'm not going to sit in Daryl's seat. So apparently people are still talking about this. I don't see them Law talking about this, but apparently people are still speculating on the relationship between Law, because Law did end up coming out after the story broke that he was retiring. He did come out and say that he's still working with Zendaya. More than likely, he'll be working with Zendaya not as a fashion stylist, but as her creative director. But he's done with styling people. In this interview, he talks about some of the traumatic things that he had a family loss at the time, and he still had to work, and no one really showed him any sympathy because of it. So he's been posting this morning, literally posting on his social media, and he says, I retired because I got overwhelmed and that I've never got a chance to properly grieve a great loss. He then says, Dan, one of the greatest American designers ever just left the house, Moschino. He's been synonymous with, and y'all still talking about a seat? I mean, I didn't realize people were still, who knows what he's seeing on his feed. I didn't realize people were still talking about it. He did do an interview within the cut. You can go see the interview where he talks extensively about why he decided to retire from celebrity fashion styling. But here's the thing, Law. I think the reason why people are reading into your posts a lot more and wondering, explain it a little bit more, because you literally say lies and false narratives. In your interview, you do talk about the struggles of, working in the industry, but it's sort of like, well, tell us about the lies and the false narratives. It seems like something specific happened. And yes, he does talk about the loss that he had and how that, he wasn't able to really properly grieve. So go listen to the interview. I hope you guys will leave Law alone. Law wants some time. I don't think it's necessarily over for him doing fashion styling. He will continue to work with Zendaya. So let's move on. But I wanted to give you a follow-up because I did do a story talking about Law and him retiring. All right, let me move on. Let's talk about Amanda Bynes. So Amanda Bynes, she was recently put on a 5150 psych hold because she was discovered on the streets without her clothes on, and apparently she had a psychotic episode. And she in the moment was well enough to ask for help and said that she had a psychotic episode and she needed help. So when she was taken to the police station, they did a mental evaluation and decided that she needed to be hospitalized. I did see a quick blurb this morning that the parents aren't immediately going to jump into a conservatorship. You may know it's almost a year since her conservatorship ended. I remember her parents were the conservators over her, and she had been doing well. She was going to school, and she had a couple of like hiccups in life, but we all have hiccups in life. But she seemed to have been doing well. And then this happened. Not sure what happened, but we wish you well, Amanda. We definitely wish you well. We'll continue to follow this story, but I wanted to kind of mention this to you guys as well. If you're not following me on TikTok, these are some of the stories that you miss out that I don't necessarily do a long form video here on YouTube or Facebook. So be sure to follow us on TikTok. TikTok, though, is shaky. Did they arrest that man? Y'all know that man, the former president. Do we know? I've been here. I don't know. There could have been breaking news. Did they arrest him? I know there's a fake photo around that he was arrested. Did they arrest him? Just asking. I'm just asking. I'm not CNN, so don't expect me to report on it. I just know that Tuesday was supposed to be a big day. Okay, let's move on. Oh, wait. This is reality TV related. Remember Soggy? Go check her Twitter. That's all I'm going to say. Go check her Twitter. Soggy Flicker. Siggy Flicker. All right. All right. Let me move on. All right. So I talked about, all right. I just want to make sure I'm covering everything, y'all. Oh my God. I think I covered everything except 90 Day Fiance. So before we get into 90 Day Fiance, guys, be sure to like the video. We have over 1,200 people watching on YouTube and Facebook alone. So let's get to, I'm going to say 550 likes. I'm going to say 500. Oh, thank you, Diana. She says, not that I know of. Diana stays on stuff. Thank you, Diana. Shout out to our King's Guards, guys. We could not do this without our King's Guards. So be sure to say hello to them as well on multiple platforms that we have covering us while I'm hosting this show. Sure says in my dreams I can. All right. Let me drop the call-in link for our members first of the channel, because I do want to hear brief comments that you guys have on some of this. So let me do that. Hold on. All right. And thank you all for being here, taking time out of your Tuesday afternoon for our Tuesday takeover. Thank you, thank you, thank you. If you are a senior royal and a Royal Court member, I'm going to drop the call-in link for you on the community tab. And I will be posting up a time limit. So, Social Deviant watching on Twitch, hey, what's going on? Okay, call-in link. All right. So if you are a member, a Royal Court member or a senior royal, I am dropping the link right now for you there. If you are a Team Kempire member, I'll be dropping the call-in link for you as well. All right. And those of you in the chat, let's get to 550. Oh, damn. Oh, damn. Real Housewife 876 says, Kempire, Priyanka Chopra has accused Law Roach of body shaming her. I mean, I'll Google schmoogle. I didn't know that. But they had a fabulous photo shoot. What's that? That was recent too. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised, the fashion industry. But anyways, but I'll look into that. Thank you. All right. Let me just say thank you. We had a couple of super chats and member chats as well. Nicole, thank you so much for the super chat. Nicole says Ariana wants to be the main role in the next Megan movie. She was trying out with Tom in regards to the comment that she made during the Vanderpump Rules trailer. Thank you, Nicole. Brianna, thank you so much for being a member for the last 6 months. She says Tamar was so disappointing. She changed. Lies. Yeah, I really did. I really went into this Queen's Court thinking to myself, I was like, well, I'm going to watch Tamar and see if she's really changed, because watching her on Celebrity Big Brother, I was like, I felt like she really changed. A little bit. Like a little bit. Apparently not. Nosy, thank you so much for the super chat. Nosy says, I love Nivea. She's a lot of fun and real. I just want to see more of her on TV. Tamar and Jay are both messy. Oh, and we saw that from my coverage of the whole Kandi story yesterday too. Perfect for each other, I guess. Shrugs. Ooh. Thank you, Nosy. I mean, I really want it to work out for Tamar. If anything, Tamar's going to always be Tamar. If this man matches her energy and she's happy and she can have a happy life with him, good for them. Good for them. Tanisha, thank you so much for the super chat. Tanisha says, I loved Nivea. She was real about her friends. And her friends were real. Yeah, I did enjoy her friends. Oh, we didn't even talk about Travis. Woo, 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 Travis. I forgot to talk about Travis. Nivea ended up falling in love with Travis, but Travis had eyes for Evelyn. Oh my goodness. I liked him, but I just felt like that wasn't a good match at all for any of the women. I think I can see him being friends with Nivea, but I can't see a real relationship. And yes, she needs her own show. Oh my lamb. No, I don't want her to do reality TV. I don't think she needs her own show. If she wants to document maybe recording her next project or come on Encore, maybe. I don't want her to do a reality show based off of her life and people getting into her life. I like these little sporadic things that she does. I would much rather see Nivea get back into music. Just saying. Justice says, how awkward. Yeah, poor Travis. Woo, 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 Travis. Oof. I like Travis, though. He had a lot of heart. This just was not the right show for him. This was just not the right show for him. Okay. All right. Alex says you can't see the link in the community tab. Can any of the other members? No, the other members can see it. I posted the link in the community tab on YouTube because I already had someone backstage, so someone saw it. Look, someone saw it. All right, hold on, y'all. Let me turn these notifications off. All right, let's talk about 90 Day Fiance. Come on, I have a lot to say about this, y'all. 90 Day Fiance. Oh my goodness. Let me close this. So 90 Day Fiance. We didn't, honestly, first of all, guys, if you missed it, I did a whole expose on Danielle Gates. I didn't even know her last name until I did this expose. So if you missed the video that I did on Danielle and how she is bamboozling everyone, including us and her husband, Johan, go check that out, because apparently we didn't get Danielle this week. We will get Danielle next week on 90 Day Fiance The Other Way. But Danielle apparently has a bankruptcy that she hasn't told anyone about, and that's part of the reason why she left New York, allegedly. And I go through all of the bankruptcy situation and how much she owes. Homegirl owes like $80-something thousand to Easy Pass. To Easy Pass? I was a little like, what is happening here? What is happening? So if you missed that story, I'm so glad that I even remembered to bring it up now. And I'm so glad that I did a separate video talking about it, because there were no scenes with her this week. So I would have probably completely forgotten to talk about Danielle and her bamboozling. I'm wondering if it does come out during the season about her bankruptcies and her not being honest with Johan. Because next week we see that she's upset with him and she's like, oh, maybe I don't know who Johan really is. And I'm thinking to myself, does Johan know who you really are? Because I wonder when he finds out about this bankruptcy. Like, the bankruptcy information is quite telling. And thank you to Sarah in the chat, one of our King's Guards, for posting the link to my expose on it. I explain all the details and I give you my reaction. You know me, my reactions. All right. Again, guys, if you remember the channel, I have posted it on the community tab. Sarah, you've seen it, so everyone else should see it. I posted it for all members, so be sure to check that out. Nicole says, hold on. Nicole says, what? And I get mad when they send a bill for $3.40 to Easy Pass. I just don't know how she racked up a bill of $80,000 for Easy Pass. She claims it was for work. Remember, she was a teacher and she was like a yoga person. That's a lot of money. But now it's a part of her bankruptcy. Okay, girl. Look, okay, girl. All right. Guys, we're almost at 550 likes. Once we get to 550 likes, I will post the call link for you guys to call in and share your thoughts. But let's get back into 90 Day Fiance The Other Way. Oh, Claire says, what's Easy Pass? So Easy Pass is one of the ways that people are able to go through tolls here in the United States. I'm not sure. I know here in New York, it's a thing. I'm not sure what other states have it as well. And it's just sort of a system that scans your information that's connected to your accounts, a credit card or a bank or things like that. So every time you go through a toll, it's scanned. And apparently she was tolling. Look, tolling $80,000. But she owes over $200-something thousand. She even has, I don't know how much in back rent that she owes. I was like, oh, okay. Oh, okay. No, hold on. Wait. Hold on. Sequoia says, crazy thing is, Easy Pass still sending bills from 2020 because when COVID shut down, they wasn't sending them. Are we defending Danielle and her bamboozlement? Are we really defending her right now? No, Easy Pass is shady in their own way. Okay. All right. Okay. Andrea says, like, fast track here in Cali. I know that other states have something similar, but probably call it something different. But she's from New York, so I know that's why she owes Easy Pass a lot of money. Joey Love says the same thing about Cali. Okay. All right. Let's get back into 90 Day Fiance the other way. My favorite. Okay. Nicole is still problematic. I cannot. Why are we dealing with this? Her, and look, I'm not judging people and their culture, their religion. She had already gone to Egypt and knew that these were the expectations. Remember, I almost completely forgot that Nicole actually converted. And now she's trying to say that she's trying to say that she doesn't want to conform. She didn't really look into all the stipulations of being Muslim. Girl, you're going to convert to a whole other religion and not do your due diligence and understand. You're just going to take the word of your husband. And now he expects you to dress in a certain way. I have to say, his family has been nothing but kind and respectful to her. They have been nothing but kind and respectful to her. And even when she's not, like, I think that was the uncle or something like that. He was like, well, she converted to Muslim. Why is she not, taking on these traditions? But it's also Mahmoud's responsibility to teach her. But girl, Nicole, it's your responsibility if you're going to make this sort of life choice to know what you're choosing. I think she only went back so that she could get this whole design idea because she has this modest clothing line that she wants to launch. So she's showing it to the family. I think that's the only reason why she's on here. I think she's only on here for television. But I told you guys this several weeks ago because I'm like, you already lived in Egypt. It didn't work for you, but yet you are going back. And as soon as you go back, you are not willing to, I'm not going to even say the word conform. You're not even willing to compromise with your husband. And I think the reason why Mahmoud gets frustrated is because she's frustrating. Anyone else? Like, I'm really trying, like, Nicole, you are frustrating every single week. Rachel, okay, we're going to have to revisit this, but I do have the picture. So Rachel says, the swimsuit scene took me out. She was suffering in that burkini. First off, this is no disrespect, but I have to say I was thrown because I'm watching the preview for next week with Nicole's scenes. And then she's like, I didn't know what modest meant until I saw I had to put on the bathing suit. And I said I was like, I had to rewind and take a picture so I could talk to you guys about. And I think it's not even about what she's wearing. It's about her being in the outfit. Okay? I was like, what? What is happening here? But she is just go. Just go. Just go. Let her go. Justin says burkini better be trademarked. I mean, Heather Two Bros Leftover Sushi says she tries so hard to be victim. She's increasingly annoying. Yeah, like she's no victim. Nicole is not a victim. You knew what you were getting into. Either compromise or leave. And I don't feel like she's willing to compromise. I think she's just there for TV purposes. And I don't know why. Maybe to launch this whole clothing situation. Jay says, I don't know. I don't understand why she converted. No one does. Look, no one does. All right. Speaking of someone I just can't get with, where is what's her face? Jen and Rishi. So, and I'm gonna give her some room for understanding here. Because she had a misunderstanding when it came to the visa that she has. She has a 30-day visa that's one entry. So she finds this out. So her and Rishi have this emotional moment because she's going to have to leave. She can't just leave the country and then come back because she didn't do her research. I wonder, I have a 10-year visa to India. Does that mean I can only go there once in like a year? And then, I don't know. I know there's stipulations on that, but I'm not trying to go to India. I don't have anyone over there that I'm in love with. But you see, he gets really emotional too in this moment. But her behavior over the years, remember when we saw her friends a few weeks ago? They say this is so common for her in regards to just doing things that traditional people would not do. But this is the first time that she's sort of like did this whole thing of a love affair abroad. She's been talking to this man for a year. I don't know if I believe that he's been faithful to her. And next week, we're dealing with him possibly sending, very intimate photos of himself to some other woman. She's delusional, right? Look, she's delusional. Okay. Let's talk about Gabrielle and Isabel. Gabriel, there we go. And Isabel. So I told you last week, I love Gabriel for sharing the journey of transitioning that he shared with us. And I really do enjoy Isabel. I must have a better picture of them. There we go. Let me get rid of this other picture. I don't like that picture of them. So now they journey to her family because Gabriel wants to share with her father that, I want to tell you that I was born a woman. I'm trans. And I told you guys when we first were talking about this, I'm like, does he really have to? Look, does he really have to? But I guess he wants to be honest, and he also wants to ask Isabel's parents for her hand in marriage. And I have to say, Isabel's parents seem to really like Gabriel in comparison to some of the guys that she's dated before. So I'm just sort of like, do we really have to say? I mean, he should be able to live in his truth. But I'm just sort of like, I guess. Look, I guess. I mean, it's his choice at the end of the day. But I really do like this couple. I know a lot of you have said that you believe that Gabriel and Isabel will be probably the only couple that stays together by the end of this season. And then I said, no, what about Debbie and Usama? First of all, Debbie reminds me of Jennifer Coolidge. You know what I mean? When you listen to her speak, but then by the end of this episode, first of all, we don't even get a lot from Debbie and Osama. I don't feel their passion. I forgot that they've been talking for a couple of years. She's visited Morocco before. And now that she's in Morocco, Osama's like, well, you could stay a month, you could stay 2 months, but then you must go back. And then she's like, what are you saying? She sounds just like Jennifer Coolidge. I'm not understanding. And I'm just like, because I didn't understand him either. And he's just so blank faced in saying it. Like there's no emotional reaction. And it makes me wonder, did something happen that we're missing? But he's like, you gotta go home. You ain't got to go. Look, you ain't got to leave here, but you gotta go home. So I was a little thrown. And so was Debbie. So was Debbie. Poor thing. I felt for her though. But we're not getting anything from Debbie. We've been talking about Debbie getting to Morocco. She's finally in Morocco and the man's like, you gotta go. You gotta go. All right. Poor thing. Woo, Debbie. Woo. Speaking of woo. Jemmy and or is it Jamie? Jamie. So Jamie and Chris. I already told you that when we found out that Chris showed her who she really is, okay, when right before Jamie's birthday, Chris disappeared. Now all of a sudden, right before they're supposed to get married, she has to go back to the United States. You know, last week she was in a lot of pain, because of the car accident. Look, she has a lot of ailments, physical ailments, night terrors, narcolepsy. Like she's got a lot of things going on with her. But Jamie is willing to look past all of that stuff and love her for who she is. But we see for the preview for next week that homegirl goes back to Alabama. Chris goes back to Alabama. And Jamie's like, I haven't spoken to you in a month. She didn't speak to the... So Chris, when people show you who they are the first time, believe them. And I feel so bad for Jamie because I really believe that she loves her. I don't know why she loves her, but she loves her. Sure, come on. Scherster says that. Where's Scherster? Oh, wait, hold on. Scherster. I hate that I laughed when I saw her curled up in the bed. You know what? I hate that you laughed too. Come on. Because she's probably in really pain. She's probably in a lot of pain. Okay. Hold on, y'all. I have a new mouse and I'm still trying to get adjusted. Julie, thank you so much for the super chat. Julie says, why are they only giving us 5 to 10 minutes of Debbie and Osama again? Because there's nothing there. They probably barely speak when we have scenes with them. And the producers are trying to do the Lord's work by bringing it together. She says, I'm already over them. Nicole leave Egypt, and who knew Isabel is so jealous? Oh, but I mean, I think, look, we've been watching reality TV for a very long time, especially 90 Day Fiance. I wasn't surprised. Missy, thank you so much for the super chat. Says, hey, Kempire from Ireland. Missy, were you in the comment section when I was talking about where were we live? I don't remember. And I was saying, if anyone from Ireland's watching, let me know in the chat. Thank you, Missy, for the super chat. Natalie, thank you so much for the super chat. Natalie says, I didn't believe the final scenes with Nivea crying. Tamar said on Breakfast Club she got engaged after 3 weeks. So how long was the show? I thought the show was 10 weeks. And the way that they were saying it throughout the season of Queen's Court, it felt like it was 10 weeks. So I don't know. After 3 weeks, well, I don't know. After 3 weeks, well, good luck with that. I mean, things happen. Rashima, thank you so much for the super chat. She says, I think there is substance. I think there is substance issues with her. Who were you referring to, Rashima? I forget, because we talked about so much during our Tuesday takeover. Guys, we're almost at 600 likes. Be sure to like the video if you haven't already. I want to get to some of the comment section. We have quite a few people in the building and quite a few people backstage. I am going to be setting up my timer so that I can get out of here and go have lunch. Just saying. And of course, stay tuned for more content here. And if you missed it, I did post a Wendy Williams update here on the channel. Be sure to check that out. And for those that are watching on TikTok, be sure to check out some of the short content that I posted there. And be sure to follow me on my other social media. God forbid TikTok is taken down. Just saying. Everything is available at thekempire.com, including our merch and our podcast. We have 2 new podcast episodes that came out. And speaking of new podcasts, part 2 of my conversation with Behind the Velvet Rope came out today. So be sure to check that out with David Yantif, Behind the Velvet Rope, on all of your favorite podcast platforms. All right. Okay. Was there anyone else that I want to talk about from 90 Day? Hold on, let me go back. Let me go through all the people. No, I think we talked about everyone that I wanted to talk about. Yeah, I think so, right? If I forgot, you guys will remind me in the chat. No, I think I talked about everyone that I wanted to talk about. There wasn't a lot to break down. All right. Thank you, Sarah. Have a great day. All right. Let's get to some callers. Let me switch this out. Hold on. And let me put up my disclaimer. Callers, again, no profanity, no derogatory comments, and keep it short and shady. I will be putting up my timer as well. Shout out to everyone watching on TikTok. Everyone watching on TikTok, let's get to 20,000 likes. Keep tapping your screens. And those of you that are watching here on YouTube, let's get to 700 likes. We have over 1,100 of you here watching our Tuesday takeover. If you enjoy content like reality TV news, or pop culture news, be sure to subscribe so you don't miss out. We're almost at 250,000 subscribers. So be sure to subscribe so that you have your notifications on so you don't miss out on anything. All right, so let's get to some callers. Let me bring this here. Okay. All right, I'm going to bring up Sarah first. Hold on. Hey, Sarah, what's going on?
Hello, bonsoir, bonjour. Of the Kempies, please, we need to pay the homage to the King Kempire when you come on the chat first. And today is a new moon, so it's important to clean your house, to use some belief, and do some rituals to manifest wealth in your life. And second, I have some tea about the Zendaya situation and Roach.
Mm.
Remember, Zendaya was sitting just allegedly with Emma Watson, but the other woman she just near to her, it's a Delphine Arnault, the daughter of the boss of LVMH.
Mm.
So it's a new boss of Louis Vuitton.
Mm-hmm.
And in the day of Roach is true because I was in Paris that day too. It was a big strike, so every street it was hell. Truly,
Yeah.
and I feel that it's a true. And now Paris is on fire because we have so much riot, and we have strike of the people take the garbage too. Yes.
Yes. When I was in Paris, there was a strike for the metro, and I was just like, damn.
Yeah, oh no! Now it's strike for the metro, but my two street of near to my home was on fire with people saying, oh, it was like a war. Yes, it's not a joke. I say that to everyone. So
Wow.
be careful. And yes, it was very hard to come. So I think Roach was very stressed and to come at time. And also, he can do a scene, because you have the boss of Louis Vuitton just near to Zendaya. And they are really speaking. He can make move, but he can make me move Emma Watson. And what I don't understand, truly, I know who they make, fashion, sitting. They can make him, have a seat maybe near to Zendaya and just to make everyone want another place. I think truly something is happening behind the scene because you have so much now movement on the world of the people are quieting. So have a good day, hold the campus.
YouTube
it's a new moon. Make a manifestation and please like. We are so much here. Show the power of love with just clicking the like button.
Thank you, Sarah. Take care.
Great, everybody.
Bye. New moon, y'all. Time to manifest something. What you trying to manifest? Let me know in the replay crew. Let me know what you're trying to manifest. Don't forget to let me know where you're watching from, and don't forget to like the video. And shout out to my mods. We will be posting the timestamps after the live, so because I know some of you don't want to watch the entire show, but I feel like the entire show is entertaining. So watch it from beginning to end. But if there are certain parts and certain recaps that you're looking for, I understand. All right, Dr. Payne is backstage. We're going to bring her up next. What's going on, Dr. Payne?
Hi, Kempire. Hi, everyone. I hope you guys can hear me.
Yes. Can you hear me?
I can. I love the show. I was so happy that Kandi featured you on her Speak On It, showed the clip, and I called everybody, Kempire's on, like you were my brother. I'm like, Kempire's on! Like, we were so happy. But I can just say this about the Tamar thing. I don't know if you saw my comment. Tamar's a brat. She's been a brat, and there's no changing there. And the nerve of her to block you. You're the best thing to ever commented on her. She's a brat. And I believe, and I wasn't there, but I believe that they were like, maybe she was kept saying, I don't know where this is coming from. When her and Kandi were fighting, and Todd said, you know what this is, you know why, right? And then that is Todd's in her face. That's Todd's bothering her when she clearly stated before that he separated them. I don't like it. That's not fair. Now Todd is in a woman's face. What? Like, let me tell you, Tamar's a mess. And I don't know why anybody follow her up. And I hope Dish Nation understand they made a poor choice. That's all I have to say. No, the girl with the 90-day with the fashion and she's just trying to be discovered. Look, fetch is not gonna happen. Stop trying to make fetch happen. All right? She's not, if you love this guy, there's women who will do anything for the men they love, and you just can't change your clothes. Come on, please. I do not believe that. And as far as the other ones, and Kemper, did you notice that the 90-day people are being very harsh on Danielle's angles? Ever since the butcher shop, they have been showing her in the most unflattering light. I swear. She was adorable. She's still adorable to me as far as aesthetics, but they're making her look like maybe not as well. I don't know.
Do you think she was a nightmare behind the scenes?
Must be, because they're making her look so like they film her at just the worst angles. Okay, bye everybody.
Thanks, Dr. Payne. Back to work. Miss Bernice, I'm going to bring you up next. What's going on, Miss Bernice?
Hey, Kempire. What up, though? What up, though? I only got two shows to talk about. Love with Marriage, DC. Ashley doesn't understand that you can break trust in an instant, but it may take a lifetime to build that trust back up. Now, you broke Joy's trust. She told you a secret that was important to her, and you shared it with somebody else when you said you wouldn't. And the only reason you shared it with somebody else is because you felt slighted. You doing that Jennifer A stuff. If you piss me off, I'm coming out guns blazing. Come on now. Really? Grown people do that? Um, and I don't know why y'all tripping on this Vanderpump Rules stuff. Bravo is notorious for putting good looking millennials together who are narcissistic. You have a few innocent people sprinkled in there, but they all narcissistic, so they're gonna feed off of each other. And they're gonna want, ooh, I'm good looking, I'm sexy. I should be with her because she's good looking and she's sexy. That's all they do.
Summer House.
Come Summer House, Southern Charm, Winter House, all of them.
I mean, you good points.
All of them. So I don't know why everybody, oh, how could he do that to her? That's what you people do. Okay? So why is everybody tripping now? Oh, she's scum of the earth and everything like that. Okay. Look at every show that Bravo done had where you have cute millennials and everything like that together. You hop from friend to friend. I don't date my friends because they my friend. Okay.
Right.
Okay, other than that, bye-bye. Love you.
Thank you, Miss Bernice. Take care. Miss Bernice is hilarious. I can't. Guys, if you're just joining us, we are taking callers for our Tuesday takeover. They are weighing in on some of the reality TV news. They're weighing in on some of the pop culture news as well. Alex, I'm going to bring you up next. Alex, you found the link, I see. Alex, you're muted.
So I actually had to use the one in the live chat.
Oh.
It never loaded.
Woo, woo, woo.
Yeah, like regular. I'm joking. I had to use the regular. But I'm fine now, I guess. I wanted to talk about Wendy Williams. I feel it hurts me to see her drinking again because that's a sickness, really.
Yeah.
It's an illness.
Yeah.
And even just one drink, it's a slippery slope. And she's going down that slippery slope, and I feel it hurts. I really love Miss Wendy Williams, and I hope she doesn't get trapped in that again because it really is horrible. I know from experience, it's horrible. And then with Tamar and Kandi, okay, wait. So I started believing Tamar, and you know what? You want to know why? Because of how she was explaining Kandi. Because Kandi, that sounds just like Kandi. But then I don't understand how she's making a problem out of what Todd did. I don't understand. I don't even understand how that was aggressive in the first place.
Yeah, I had to replay that. I was like, he said, you know what it is.
Yeah, like what does you know what it is even mean? Like what is he trying to he's not trying to like jump you. Like what are you talking about? It makes no sense. So I don't know. Tamar's been a mess. Tamar's a mess. I don't know if I'm going to watch Queen Court. I feel like 2 out of the 3 have been spoiled. So by seeing it, so I'm like, okay, what's the point now? And I'm hearing all the men are like kind of bad. Like all the men kind of have their problems. So I don't know. And then with Married to Medicine, I don't know if how Phaedra's gonna like mix in there. I don't know how that's gonna work out. I have a bad feeling.
Oh.
So yeah.
Okay.
All right. Bye.
Thanks, Alex. Guys, share your thoughts, replay crew. I want to know how you feel about what some of the callers are saying too. All right, I'm gonna get to the next caller, Judgy Justice. You're next. What's going on, Judgy Justice? Ooh, there we go. What's going on, Judgy Justice?
Hey, Kempire. Hey, Kempire. Hello?
I can't hear you.
Hello?
There we go.
Hey, sorry about that. I'm running out of my way from my cubicle.
Oh, okay.
Because you never know where you are in life. So my thoughts are, I'm not going to watch The Queen's Court because all of it's been spoiled. I wish they would have just waited, you waited this long to say that you're engaged. Just wait like a couple weeks longer. And I think they may have thought this would have been great promo for us to see how they fell in love. But it just, to me, it would have been more spoiler if, they each popped up with a ring and not shown who they were with. Like, they showed up and showed you the ring, this
Uh-oh. I think we lost you. Judge Justice, are you there? I think we lost you, Judge Justice. Sorry about that. All right, we're gonna have to move on. Okay. In my opinion's backstage. We're gonna bring her up next. What's going on in my opinion?
Hey, Kempire, how are you today?
I'm well. How are you? How was those pork chops?
You know, oh, they was great. It went fast. Let me tell you, I'm blessed by the best. Let me tell you something, Kempire. Let me tell you something. Okay, so I'm trying to make it quick because I got a few shows I'm trying to talk about. Okay, so the Wendy Williams story. Possibly, she could have been drinking a mocktail, not a cocktail.
Oh, okay.
So I'm not going to quickly go on to the she's drinking again because we don't really know what she was drinking. But then, okay, let's move on to Love and Marriage DC.
Okay.
So the reason why they was supposed to be keeping it secret is because their family don't know. Their family wanted the wedding, and they got married the next day after they got engaged at the courthouse.
Oh.
From what? Yeah. And so, and this is my thing. Actually, you mad because she mad, and then you mad at Arena because Arena feels like, yeah, you did do something that was messed up, and now you want to fight both of them. Like, make that make sense. You know what I'm saying? Like, you do the wrong, and then you want everybody to forgive you because you apologize 3 times. I don't care how many times you apologize to me. I ain't got to accept it until I feel like it. But I do want Joy to speak up and speak up mine because she do have a lot to say in those confessionals, and I need her to say it face to face. Be a woman about it. If you're going to say it in the confessional, be a street gangster and say it in their face. Just period. I'm like, and then the Queen's Court. Could they not have gave some of these men some makeovers before they came on the show? They had some regular looking men, like the man from the military. He looked like he had just came back from deployment. Like, I mean, he was like, man, his hair, it was all knotted up and stuff. And I was like, Lord have mercy, they couldn't have gave him a haircut, something, a stylist, something. Like, yeah.
The one they ended up kicking out.
I did think it, I thought it was real strange that all these, they was real young too. I'm like, do they know they got these 40-something-year-old women? They had 20-something-year-olds and 30-something-year-old. It just didn't look right. Like, I needed them to find some mature men. And with Holly Robinson Pete and her husband doing it, I was expecting them to have like some 40, 50-something year. I thought it was gonna be like a grown and sexy like dating show. It felt kiddish because they had all them little young boys. But you have a nice day. Everybody hit the like button.
Thank you.
Shout out to the Kings Guard.
Yes, thank you. In my opinion, take care. I think in my opinion was referring to the guy with the remember he was pushing up on Evelyn Lozada. Like he was at the elimination dinner and he was drinking a little too much and then he was just getting too close to Evelyn and Tamar had to pull her away. I mean, they should have got rid of him a long time ago too. All right, let's take one last caller. Claire says Joy is a confessional gangster. Thank you so much, Rashima, for the another super chat. Rashima says, have you ever considered Love After Lockup? Rashima, you must be new here. I have considered it, but I told you I'm not messing with them. I'm not messing with them. And plus, also, it's another show for me to watch, and I just don't have the bandwidth at the present moment. I might watch it and maybe talk about it just on my podcast, but I don't need them coming for me. Nikki, I thought the same thing. Nikki says, I'm not trying to be funny, but am I the only one that had the thought that Todd is too short to actually get in Tamar's face? Every time we talk about this, I'm just saying. I thought the same thing, Nikki. And that is no shade to Todd. Facts. Okay. Nicole is backstage. We're going to bring Nicole up. What's going on, Nicole?
Hey, Kempire, how are you doing today?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. And hello to everyone in the community. I'm still triggered by that easy pass to 80,000. Because I live in the DMV, so it's all over. And it was just a couple of weeks ago, probably like last month, I was getting all these, tolls, like bills, from 2020, because, I've been working from home since March 2020 because of the pandemic. And of course, when I was seeing like, nobody on the road, I would just be balling out on the streets. And so now, for me to think of her 80,000 is because I know each state is different, but they usually, because I'm going to explain to you international community, because they're like easy, because I was seeing it in the comments. But what they normally do, like let's say if your bill is like $3.40 or $11, what they'll do is they'll give you a couple of days and then they'll charge you a $25 administration fee. I don't know how that is in New York, where you're from, but they just keep adding on. But I'm assuming that this girl just kept deflecting it and just didn't even care. And then and so then I'm gonna go to Love and Marriage DC. Winter, she really, I told you I'm an ex-friend of hers. She really is a good soul. She really is a good spirit, you know, but me personally, I had to detach myself from her because, you know, here in the DMV, it's all about crabs in a barrel and everybody's social climbing. And it's a very pretentious area. So I see you got your ears to the thing, but I'm one of those people, friends. I'm loyal by fault, meaning I don't care if you do me dirty. I'm not going to put your stuff out there, but I'm going to just say she's a good person, you know.
Why are you guys not friends anymore?
What'd you say?
Why are you guys not friends anymore?
I just chose to walk away from it, you know. And the thing is what I see up there, that's her genuinely, you know, and I know that she's just trying to probably fit in where she can get in. And so you know, certain things that she say, that's just her, you know, and I don't think it comes from a mean spirit of her. I love Ashley, and I agree with Miss Bernice, like how, you know, when she handled Joy's situation, like you know, if someone tells you a secret, you know, you don't need to blab it out there to the world, and especially on a 1 million+ view, you know, platform like that. Yeah. You know, evidently Joy, she probably just felt like, you know, this is a private thing for me and just keep it at that. So I just wanted to say that, but don't give Winter such a hard time. She is a good person, but she's just trying to find a way to fit in, to get in. That's all it is. It's just a lot of social climbing here. Okay. That's all it is. Okay. So that's all I wanted to say.
All right, Nicole. Thank you so much for calling in.
Okay. Thank you.
Take care.
Bye.
All right. Let's switch back to here. Let me pull this up. Guys, if you haven't already, be sure to like the video. Let's get to 700 likes. We have quite a few of you still here for our Tuesday takeover. If you missed it and you're part of the replay crew, let me know where you're watching from. Let me know your thoughts on any of the shows that we talked about, including Queen's Court, which is available on Peacock. We talked about a little bit about Vanderpump Rules Season 3, the Vanderpump Rules trailer. We talked about Below Deck and their season finale. We talked about 90 Day Fiance, The Other Way. A lot of different things, but we also talked about some pop culture news as well. So be sure to let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Thank you to everyone that sent in a super chat. Thank you to every one that became a member or has been a member of the channel. If you would like to become a member, head on over to teamkempire.com/join. And thank you to our King's Guards. We could not do this without them, so be sure to thank them depending what platform you're watching on. So thank you to our King's Guards. Thank you all for being here. I will see you next week for our Tuesday takeover again, talking about similar shows, some new shows, and maybe I'll get into Love After Lockup, but I'm not going to talk about it here. I'm not going to talk about it here. I'll talk about it somewhere else. And if you missed it, don't forget I am on the new episode, part 2 of my conversation with Behind the Velvet Rope with David Yontef. Part 2 of my conversation is available right now on all major podcast platforms. And my conversation with Layla Lynn on the Kempire Radio podcast is available right now. And as you know, the previous episode was Grace Report. So stay tuned for that. Subscribe to the Kempire Radio podcast and give us a rating of 5, depending on where you follow us on your favorite podcast platform. All right, we're going to get out of here, guys. Thank you all for being here. I will see you all tomorrow for our Real Housewives of New Jersey recap at approximately 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. PST. I will see you guys tonight for our Real Housewives of New Jersey watch party on TikTok exclusively. Everything is at The Kempire. All of my social media is available at thekempire.com. Everyone have a great rest of your day. Thank you all for being here, and I will see you all in the next video.